Frieren the Slayer is by far the most realistic depiction of an elf in all of anime, and dare I say, all of fiction. And in this video, I'll explain to you in detail why. In the world of fiction, elves, and dragons, long-lived beings are often portrayed as wise, regal, and emotionally distant. Yet few stories truly explore the psychological toll of immortality. Frieren Beyond Journey's End, both the anime and the manga, offers a rare and intimate look at what it means to live for over 1,000 years. Throughout the eyes of its protagonist, Frieren the Elven Mage, Frieren the Slayer. Unlike other portrayals that lean heavily into mythical grandeur, Frieren presents a quiet, grounded, and deeply human perspective on eternal life, or nearly eternal life, making her the most realistic depiction of a long-lived character in all of anime. Frieren's story begins not with an epic journey, but the end of one. After defeating the Demon King with her heroic party, Frieren attends a 10-year reunion with her companions. When one of them, Heimel, passes away shortly after, she begins to reflect on the fleeting nature of human life. To Frieren, 10 years felt like a mere moment. This moment of loss marks a critical turning point. We see that while she possesses incredible magical power and ageless beauty, her emotional development is stunted, not from immaturity, but from time's slow erosion of urgency. Biologically, Frieren doesn't age, tire, or even process time the same way we humans do. In one chapter, she sets off on a journey to find a single flower, only to return decades later, to find the village completely changed. This kind of absent-mindedness mirrors how a creature with a 2,000-year lifespan might realistically perceive days, years, and even centuries, not as pressing but as fleeting. Unlike elves and other fantasies, who always seem so poised and omniscient, Frieren forgets things. She procrastinates and makes whimsical decisions. This nuance makes her more relatable and believable. With this in mind, Frieren's nonchalant attitude and nature seem so much more believable. Because realistically, if a creature existed that could live for 2,000 years, they wouldn't be all hyperactive and quick to anything. They'd be slow, nonchalant, and calm down. Because realistically, what's the rush? There is none. In contrast to many other elves in fiction, namely in anime, who always seem so hyperactive with everything they do. Psychologically, Frieren embodies the loneliness of eternity. She does not fall into despair when her comrades die, not because she doesn't care, because she's unable to process such brief relationships. For example, if you had two friends, friend A, which you've known for 10 years, and friend B, which you've known for 2 months, if they both passed away, friend A's death will be much more significant to you because you've known them that much longer. It's the same for Frieren. She spent 10 years with her comrades and her party, but 10 years for Frieren is like a month for a human being, or perhaps even shorter. But over the course of the story, we see her begin to learn how to mourn. She reads letters from the deceased, visits places that once held fond memories for her and her fallen comrades, and gradually allows herself to form new attachments. Her relationship with Fern, her apprentice, is particularly telling. She begins as a mentor, cold and distant, but slowly opens up and even begins to understand how humans grieve, love, and live within their short lifespans. Realistically, it makes sense. If a creature existed for this long, it wouldn't be healthy for them to be as emotional as human beings are, because people die again and again and again and again. And through the course of 2,000 years, how many times did Frieren have to cry and mourn and grieve her lost comrades? Frieren's emotions are muted, diluted, minimized for her own mental and emotional security and sanity above all else. That's just how she was designed. And personally, if you were to be given immortality, this would be the closest thing to perfect immortality. Muted emotions, or at least diluted emotions, and a strong, nonchalant attitude. Compared to other elves in fiction, Frieren is by far the most realistic, because if you lived for that long, it wouldn't be safe or at least healthy for you to have that much emotions. But in most anime depictions, elves are as emotional, if not more emotional than even humans. And that doesn't make any sense. If you lived that long, strong emotions would be a hindrance to you, a death sentence, a mental hazard. Only be healthy and safe if you stayed alongside other elves and only other elves. If you befriended humans, you wouldn't like it because they would die. Again and again. Sexually and emotionally, Frieren is a blank canvas. The series does not sexualize her immortality, nor does it saddle her with the exaggerated elven allure. She is awkward, introverted, and often oblivious to the social cues of others, mostly Heimel. This mirrors the likely reality of someone who's lived for so long that human traditions, emotions, and customs become passing thoughts rather than foundations. Her growth is slow, like the erosion of a mountain, but it is growth nonetheless. And this is quite realistic. If a creature lived that long, they wouldn't be as sexually active as human beings are. So Frieren's behavior, sexually and romantically, is quite normal. In comparison to other elves in fiction, namely animes, the elves in animes get, for lack of a better word, horny far too quickly. We all know that generic-ass anime where the main character saves the elf and the elf falls in love with him at that very instant. Realistically, that isn't possible. But Frieren is by far the best adaptation of an elf, or to be more specific, a long-lived creature in all of fiction. In comparison to other long-lived creatures like Meliodas from the Seven Deadly Sins, who is static, or too strong and powerful to change. Frieren grows and learns and adapts. She is not infallible. She is tragically human. Ultimately, Frieren Beyond Journey's End is not just about magic or adventures. It's a quiet meditation on the burden of time. Through Frieren, we see the cost of immortality, not in epic wars or cosmic dilemmas, but in everyday moments. A forgotten promise, a missed goodbye, a slowly blooming affection for those she will inevitably outlive. She isn't the most powerful elf, nor the most perfect, nor the most glamorous, but she is by far the most authentic. In my conclusion, if you were to ever gather the 7 Dragon Balls and to wish for immortality, be specific. Wish for elven immortality from Frieren's universe, so you can live a good and happy and peaceful life. Because if you wish for immortality whilst keeping your human biology, you will suffer. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, goodbye and God bless.